Fantasy Football Tips, Top 20 Most Picked Players So Far. Fantasy football is back and raring to go ahead of what could be the best Premier League season to date. Hundreds of thousands of you have already signed up to play Dream Team this season, and it's easy to see why, with a massive £750,000 prize pot at stake despite entry to play being entirely free. But which players are being picked the most in the early weeks before the big kickoff between Arsenal and Leicester on August 11th? Here are the top 20 most selected fantasy football stars so far. And 1. Romelu Lukaku, £6 million, 59. Lukaku has been picked by the vast majority so far. The Manchester United new boy is quite considerably the most picked player on Dream Team so far, with over half of managers plumping for the £75 million man. 2. Harry Kane, £8 million, 48. Dream Team managers evidently haven't been deterred by Kane's value this season. He was the most expensive player, and his 29 goals in the Premier League last season prove why. 3. Alexander Lacazette, £5 million, 32. Arguably the biggest new face on the game, Lacazette's prolific scoring rate in France has convinced nearly a third of managers that he was the man for their attack. 4. Delali, £6 million, 32. Ali had a stunning season for Tottenham. No midfielder scored more league goals in Europe's top 5 leagues last season, so Ali's popularity is a given. 5. Paul Pogba, £6 million, 30. Pogba is a star man machine and who scored, our ratings providers, algorithm favorite, and will likely settle even more in his second season back in England. How did Pogba perform in fantasy football last season? Third highest rated player, 72 in the Premier League last season, behind only Eden Hazard and Alexis Sanchez. Consistent points scorer throughout the Premier League season, scored 236 points. Dream Team last season, the third highest for a midfielder. Want him in your fantasy football team this season? Sign up now. 6. Gabriel Jesus, £5 million, 25. Perhaps the best bargain on the game, Jesus looks likely to keep Sergio Aguero out of Manchester City's starting lineup after 7 goals and 4 assists from just 8 starts last season. 7. Jordan Pickford, £3 million, 24. Pickford was incredible for Sunderland last season. Everton's new £30 million signing is also the most picked goalkeeper on Dream Team so far, with nearly a quarter of managers going for Pickford between the sticks. 8. Eden Hazard, £7 million, 23. Hazard won over fantasy football players again last season with some glittering displays after a torrid year the campaign before. 9. Sergio Aguero, £7 million, 21. Despite uncertainty about his future, Aguero is a fantasy football machine, and only Alexis Sanchez, 348, scored more points on Dream Team than the Argentine's 307 last season. 10. Philippe Coutinho, £6 million, 20. Coutinho is attracting interest from Barcelona and PSG. Liverpool's talisman looks like having a more central role this season, which resulted in 3 goals and 2 assists in just 2 games at the back end of last term. 11. Victor Lindelof, £4 million, 20. The Manchester United new boy is likely to start alongside Eric Bailly in a pretty watertight defensive unit under Jose Mourinho. 12. Wayne Rooney, £3 million, 20. Rooney, Despite being in his latter years, remains a popular pick, and a return to Everton could be the jumpstart his career needed after fading at United. 12 equals Eric Bailly, £4. Bailly was an instant hit at Old Trafford. Bailly took to the Premier League like a duck to water last season and can get even better under Mourinho again this time around. 14 David De Gea, £4 million, 19. De Gea's United future looks more concrete this summer with Real Madrid's interest cooling, and he was always in with a shout to win the Golden Glove come the end of the season. 15 Alexis Sanchez, £7. The top Dream Team points scorer is comparatively quite far down the rankings, perhaps because his future at Arsenal is shrouded in doubt. 16 Kevin De Bruyne, £6 million, 17. De Bruyne makes Man City tick. Arguably the most eye-catching player to watch in the Premier League on his day, nobody registered more assists in the top flight than De Bruyne last season. 17 Mohamed Salah, £4 million, 16. Liverpool's new boy is as pacey as they come and will be out to prove the doubters wrong after failing to make an impression at Chelsea 3 years ago. What will Liverpool new boy Salah bring to Dream Team? 15 goals and 11 assists in Serie A for Roma last season had a higher rating, 7.48, than Paulo Dybala, 7.46. In Italy last season. Quick, nippy winger with a point to prove after failed spell at Chelsea. Get him in your Dream Team now. 18 Michael Keane, £4 million, 16. Another Everton new boy makes the top 20, with Keane really catching the eye last season by leading Burnley to survival. 19 Kyle Walker, £4.5n, 15. City have a new number 2. The most expensive English player and most priciest defender of all time is still a popular pick and will be a guaranteed starter at City after Pablo Zabala and Bakary Sagna's exits. 20 Cesar Azpilicueta, £5 million, 14. The man they call Dave at Chelsea is a firm favourite of Antonio Conte. No defender scored more fantasy football points last season. How does fantasy football work? The setup for Dream Team is rather simple. As a manager you get a budget of £50 million to spend on your team of 11 players. Game weeks will run from Friday to Thursday this season, and you'll be allowed to transfer out players who have already played in that game week. Dream Team is back and bigger than ever this season. Each manager gets a maximum of 3 transfers a month, so it's important to pay attention to upcoming fixtures. And if the incentive of beating your mates in our mini-league system isn't enough, there's a whopping £750,000 prize pot at stake too. Like what you see? Keep up to date with all the latest with our Fantasy Football Live blog and sign up to play Dream Team.